So welcome back guys to another video, and I am so excited to be talking about this game because this is a game I've been curious about for many years. And before I get into it, let's go back in the Wayback Machine of 2001. I was a sophomore in high school, I had gotten my PS2, and I had just beaten a little game called Final Fantasy X. And I had a friend of mine that was in gym class, and that's all we would talk about. We would talk about RPGs, and one day he came in with this magazine that was showing previews of a brand new Final Fantasy, and we were just completely floored with what we were seeing. All these different environments and lavish lands and stuff to explore. You could even choose your own race. This was a game that you could make your own character. But then we also started seeing something else. The PS2 had this thing called the network adapter. This Final Fantasy was going to be an online Final Fantasy. It was going to be an MMO. And I didn't even know what an MMO was, you know? And online gaming was just starting to get kind of big. It was still very new, especially to us console gamers. I had never experienced anything like this before, and I didn't have a PC. I didn't have the internet at the time, so I was just like, I'm never going to be able to play this game. And for many years, every time I would play some sort of Final Fantasy, I would always have in the back of my mind that this was one Final Fantasy I never played, and it kind of irked me. It was kind of eating away at me from time to time. And I was talking to my friend Amanda one night, and she was the one who got me to play my first MMO, which was Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. She got me playing that, and we were talking about Final Fantasy like Type 0. We were talking about the new Final Fantasy 15 demo that comes with it, and she started mentioning Final Fantasy 11. She was like, you know what, I really miss playing that game. And I was like, is this still a thing? Like, are people still playing Final Fantasy 11? And she was like, yeah, they're still making expansions for it. It's got a very loyal fan base to it. And my curiosity started getting the best of me, and I was like, the more she talked about it, I was like, you want me to play Final Fantasy 11, don't you? And before I knew it, I got a copy of Final Fantasy 11 on the Xbox 360, and this is the 2008 special edition. It comes with a couple expansions. There's actually been more expansions since this came out, and I finally got to play it, and I've been having just so much fun playing it with Amanda, and we've been going through all these different areas, and she's been helping me level up and grind my character and start a job system, and it's been so much fun. And one thing I can say about Final Fantasy XI that what makes it mean more to me now than back then was I'm playing with someone who's been playing it since the beginning. Like, Amanda's been playing it since I heard about it that time, and it's cool, you know, playing this game with her and her showing me environments that's changed over the years and how the gameplay has changed. And because if I had to describe Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy XI, the only things they really have in common is the fact that they are, MMOs, they're online RPGs, but they're two different games when it comes to gameplay. The battle system of the Final Fantasy XI is a lot more turn-based, as opposed to 14 being more action-oriented. This game really wants you to have a team. This is a more team-based RPG. Where Final Fantasy XIV, you can play a lot of missions solo. You don't even have to really join with anyone through most of the story mode, where this one you have to. And they've even added some extra things to it, like this thing called Trust, where you can actually get NPCs as your party and go through the game in case you can't find anyone to play with. But I've been very, very lucky with that aspect, because I've been playing with Amanda, and she's a white mage and I'm a monk / warrior, and we're just going through this game, and it's so cool. It's almost like I've tapped into a little bit of her childhood, because it's so nostalgic when she shows me certain things or tells me certain stories, and I'm just this completely new guy playing this, and I've been having a lot of fun. Now, I will say, for some of you guys that are curious on playing Final Fantasy XI, you can get it real cheap on Steam. That comes with all the expansions. You can get it on Steam for $25, but the kicker is if you have Windows 8 or 8.1, it's going to give you a little bit of trouble running it. you can go onto some forums and they'll kind of tell you a little bit how to do it. Me, personally, I'm so out of touch with PC gaming that I couldn't understand a lot of the stuff that it was telling me to do, so that's why I ended up getting it for the 360. Now with the 360, you don't need a gold membership. You can play this with silver, and you know, Amanda's playing on the PC, I'm playing on the 360, so you can have that cross-play action to it. But there is a monthly fee to Final Fantasy XI. You have to pay like $11 a month, so just keep that in mind. But I'm telling you guys, if you've been curious for all this time of Final Fantasy XI, and you've always been thinking like, maybe the servers are down, maybe no one's playing it anymore, that could be furthest from the truth, because there's still quite a bit of people playing this game. And am I addicted to it? I can't really say, other than I've had a PS4 for over a month now, and I've been playing my 360 more playing this game, so maybe that could tell you something. But Final Fantasy XI, I highly recommend it, guys. Definitely check it out. This could actually be one of your first MMOs if you've never played it, and I think you would enjoy it, even more so if you have such a love for Final Fantasy lore. It's got it all there. But anyway, guys, leave a comment below. Tell me some stories about Final Fantasy XI. Have you played this game? What class were you? What were some of the coolest experiences you've had with this game with your friends? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And as always, happy gaming.